So I recently came across this video titled, "If Not Now, When?" And I thought, what a beautiful title. What a beautiful question to be constantly asking ourselves as creators, beginning on our journey or wanting to do something new. If not now, when? And I wanted to talk about this today because I know a lot of people have different reasons as to why they haven't started or why they've stopped and haven't continued. And this might be due to motivation, to having a bit of imposter syndrome, kind of scared of putting yourself out there online. You don't like the sound of your own voice, or you just think you're not good enough to create content on the thing that you want to create content on. And yeah, I just want to speak about those things because we've all been through them as creators. I've been through them, and I wanted to just share my own story and some advice on how I think I've overcome some of these things to bring me to a point today where I'm fairly comfortable and confident continuing to show up on camera, talking about different things and things that I've never even spoken about before. And, I feel good about myself and I absolutely love it. And so when you put yourself online, maybe for the first time, or you introduce yourself into a new niche, I think there's this sort of vulnerability that we all have, putting yourself out into the world for people to essentially judge you, judge your content, judge how good or bad it is, and maybe leave a comment, maybe not leave a comment. And just that thought of people thinking we're shit is, I think, what prevents people from even just posting and starting. Like, we go through this period of trying to strategize and overthink like what the plan is all the way over there, and it then prevents us from just making the video like now because we're waiting for everything to be aligned and in place. And it just goes back to the title, like, if not now, when? Because do you know what? You're gonna suck. When you first start making videos, they are gonna be terrible, right? And you kind of need to just get over that. And it's not easy. It is really not easy to get over that kind of like mindset of like, I really suck at this and I'm having to show the whole world that I suck at it. Like, that doesn't fill me with joy inside. But nobody really cares. It's all in your own head, like I just said. Nobody actually really cares how bad you are. They might do in a split second and then they move on to somebody else. And actually, it doesn't really matter if the videos you're posting aren't that good, because it's about you. It's about you. It's not about anybody else. And this is what you need to just keep reminding yourself of. I've talked about this in other videos. You are doing it for you. You're being selfish. You're doing it because you want to take yourself on a journey to somewhere in the future where you want to be. And I actually think deep down, those people that do judge and the ones that do niggle at you, they leave the comments, the ones that actually care that you're bad, are actually just a little bit jealous that you're putting yourself online, in a vulnerable state, vulnerable position, and you're actually doing that, and they're not. And I love to remind myself this all the time when people comment on things that I've done or mistakes that I've made. And I think, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life and yourself to make you feel so good about leaving a nasty negative comment on my video of me trying to better myself? Do you know what? You can just fuck off, because I really don't care about you. And if you were someone of significance and you were important and you were doing well, you wouldn't be wasting your time worrying about what I'm doing. And you know what? I actually had this thought the other day about like personal branding. Personal branding is, a big thing at the moment. And I was like, what makes a strong personal brand? And I come up with this. I actually think part of what makes a really strong personal brand is showing people online that you don't give a fuck about being yourself. It's not just about being yourself, because that's what people say, just be yourself, be yourself. It's about showing people that you don't give a fuck about being yourself. Being slightly weird, being slightly eccentric, being slightly quirky, like just letting yourself go, because this is the problem a lot of creators have in the beginning, being your true self on camera is hard. But I have actually only recently got to this point. I've been experimenting with tons of different content. You know, I've tried to put myself out there, tried to expose myself a little bit. And it's only recently that I've actually thought, do you know what? Fuck it. Let me just let the whole world know who I am and what I stand for. You know I've got good morals, good values, you know, and maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I say some things every so often that are questionable. Yeah, but so fucking what? You know, I am comfortable with who I am and what I'm about. And I believe in what I say, otherwise I wouldn't say it. And I'm happy to keep showing up on camera and doing the thing. And I'm not worried what people think about me. Obviously, within reason, you know, I want people to actually resonate with my message. I want you to like my content, yeah. But fundamentally, I don't care whether you think I'm shit, whether you think I'm bad, whether you just don't even want to listen to me. That's fine. There's a gazillion other YouTubers you can go listen to. And I think that's the sort of mentality you need to have when you're starting. Right? And this won't just happen overnight. It's something you build on and you build on, you build on. But I can tell you, when you get to the point where like you feel like you can just post anything online and not even care, it is liberating. It is the most liberating feeling in the world, because I also know, going back to that point earlier about kind of the people who are jealous looking at you, I know people who are looking at me thinking, wow, I wish I could do that. Like, wow, that must feel amazing to have the confidence to be able to just show up online as your true self and just think, fuck you world, I am me and I am proud. And I want you to have that mindset. I want you to think that. And again, it's not going to be easy, but this is what we need to work towards, because that's when you'll begin to create content where you're really speaking from the heart and people can see it. You can see it when I speak, right? The reason I think people are kind of resonating with my voice and my message is because I speak with passion and I speak just from within me. Like, I believe all of this. I truly do. I'm not here scripting some bullshit message trying to hook you in and make you watch whole of the video. I don't give a fuck about that. All I care is about you listening to maybe some of my messages and taking something away and thinking, oh, Ben changed my mindset there slightly. I'm now gonna think slightly differently, and that's gonna help me progress forward to making more videos and getting better and getting the results I want. And so before I continue to ramble, because I get carried away a little bit, here are some sort of actionable points I think that I've implemented when I began in order to kind of feel more confident on camera, feel more confident speaking, just get used to just like actually showing up and not feeling too shitty about myself in terms of being judged. So firstly, I've kind of mentioned it in the video, it's finding something you're passionate about. You know, when people say like, what niche should I create content on, just pick something you're interested in or pick something you're passionate about, because it's likely that you know a fair amount there above the average person, and you can just speak without really having to think about it. You know, and if that just means just turning on the camera and just talking through some things that you find interesting and have an underlying message, maybe you, like I do, where kind of I want to help inspire but also give some actionable advice, just do that. And by doing that, you kind of have this already existing confidence, because you're not talking about this thing that you kind of don't really want to create, but it's trending and, you know, that's what you think you should create. Just think, what do I care about? What do I want to teach people or educate people or make videos on, and just make them. And when you're planning these videos and when you're going through the motion of like, you can script, yeah, there's nothing against scripting, but when you're planning these videos, I would recommend just constantly speaking out loud, constantly practicing in the mirror, constantly just rehearsing the thoughts in your head out loud. I do this all the time. I have done this for years, where I will just sit there and I'll just go into dialogue with myself. I think, you know, back when I was younger, I used to think that people would think it was weird that I just constantly talked to myself, you know, but we all kind of talk to ourselves to some degree. I talk to myself a lot. I am honestly dialogue in my head all day long. It's a blessing and a curse. I'll go in front of the mirror and I'll perform what I am going to perform on YouTube. And this has just helped me kind of get used to speaking and develop my ability to speak in different tones and pacing and this. Like, this hasn't just happened overnight for me, you know. After repeatedly watching myself on video over and over and over again, I've got used to my own voice, which is another thing. As soon as you, it's funny. Everybody watches themselves on camera for the first time and absolutely hates their voice. I used to hate my voice. of course, but like, I can't remember when I got to the point where I didn't no longer hate my voice, but you will get there. If you hate your voice now, there will be a point in the future where you don't hate your voice and you become accepting of it. And that's when you can really think, how can I leverage my voice? How can I utilize what my voice sounds like to kind of figure out, how to shoot messages across to people? That doesn't really make sense, but you know what I mean. I've found over time, I've become better at figuring out what the best way is for me to speak in order to resonate with people the most, if that makes sense. And this is just something that's just subconsciously happened over time by just constantly watching myself back and back and back and go, oh, I should have said that differently, or should have said that in a lighter way, or I should have added more emphasis on that. And then over time, I've just got better at it. And this doesn't have to just be done through videos. You could actually just use a voice recorder. I do this a lot when I'm going through that dialogue in my head, like I'm having these really good thoughts and I'm not storing these anyway. I try my best to write stuff down, but sometimes I'm just sat on the sofa. I'm not at like a place where I can write. I just open up a voice note on my phone. There's some ones that I use one called Super Whisper, where it transcribes it. I'll just start speaking my thoughts there, and then I'll go back and look at them and go, oh, that's actually quite good. Could I write that into a post? Could I create that into a YouTube video? I really liked that idea that I had there. It was really interesting to me in that moment, hence why I was talking to myself for 5 minutes. Maybe I could do this in a video. And then you do that and do that. Again, you'll get better at speaking, better at listening to your own voice, better at just kind of coming up with more ideas that you're actually passionate about and interested in, which you can project to the world through videos, and you'll be okay with that. And then so my last kind of leaving advice is to just commit to the cause. You are here for a reason. You've decided to create content, for whatever reason that is. Make sure that reason is deep and it's strong and it's within you and you can pull from it, and just keep fucking going. Keep fucking going and don't look back. Don't stop. You're going to have hurdles. You're going to have big ass hurdles. You're going to fail. You're going to feel embarrassed. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to question whether or not it's the right niche for you, and you're going to pivot to different niches, and you're going to try and forward think the plan in 2 or 3 years time, so you create this perfect content strategy, and you're not even going to do it and it's not going to work, and then you're going to pivot somewhere else and you're going to constantly try other things. But if you keep going and you keep going and you keep going, you will make it. And I say this a lot because I genuinely believe it. The only thing that's stopping you from making it is you stopping creating content. That's it. If you continue to create content, one day the stars will align, not really, but you'll find the right niche, you'll find the right format, you'll find your right audience that resonate with you, and things will start to take off. And that wave will form, and you can ride that bitch ass wave for as long as possible. And then another one will form, and another one will form, and another one will form, and then you'll get to where you want.